Good evening, back in VP4, and we are here for a match in the 9-ball World Masters 2020. The room has just gone up. It's going to be between Stub and Mooncake. Both players were here a minute ago when I checked, and this is a first round match. It's a race to 15, and it's one of probably very few of these matches I'm going to be able to get, time permitting and work permitting. It's a big problem during this weird time that we're in. But the room is up, one player is in. I'm going to go in and join it straight away. I've tested the chat. In fact, I'm going to change the cloth colour. Oh, they're both lagging off. And there's something going wrong here because I can't hear audio. And that's a problem. Why am I not getting audio? Alright, well that's knocked that in the head. Hang on. Right, I'm going to have to jump out, bail out and come back in. I'm getting no audio of the game at all. I don't know what the problem is here. Back in a minute. Right, hang on a minute. Fingers crossed it's working this time. Why is it things don't go smoothly here? That's better. Right, anyway guys, welcome to the stream. All channels should be working. I've had no messages tonight. I've checked YouTube, I've checked Twitch, and I've checked Facebook. Everything seems okay. Anyway, just a quick recap. This is a first round match in the 9-ball World Masters, race to 15 in the first round, and it's going to be one of a few matches that I might be able to get for this tournament. I'm now starting work at 4 AM in the morning, so I'm up at 2 AM, and needless to say, I am not in a fit state to do much streaming. But luckily tomorrow and the next day I've got 2 days off, so whatever matches I get on the schedule, I don't think there's any. I think this is the only one. There might be another one, but the others are for a day or two's time. But well, Stub, we know what he's like. Everybody knows what he's like. He's going by the name of Real Poland Power, but I always known him as Stub. Mooncake, I have not got a clue who this guy is, where he's from, what he's like. According to that, he's from the Netherlands. And I'm not aware of what sort of standard he is. Well, that's the first bad shot he's played. He's now hooked himself on the 7, and he's going to have to kick and hope. Had a good chance of winning that first rack. Oh dear, well, everything happened there. He managed to kick it out, fluke the 8, fluke the 7, and also scratch, and he's gifted the first rack to Stub. Well, we must be working alternate break here. I didn't know that was in the rules, so that's another aspect of it. And I don't think, if I'm right in thinking, I don't think there's jump cues in this either. So that's going to add a different dimension to the tournament. Apart from that, I don't know what the other rules are, because I haven't really had time to look. But we'll learn as time goes on. So welcome to the chat. And well, we all know what Stub's like. He can pot a ball from anywhere, but he plays too loose at times. It's all a question of whether this guy Mooncake is going to have the nerve to actually do any damage when he gets chances. He was unlucky in the first rack to hook himself, but when he gets chances, he might not get a lot of chances, and he has to take them. He must punish Stub for his mistakes, and he's going to have to play a good one to get on this 6, and he's sent the 5 into the rail, and he's got fortunate. He's hooked Stub, and Stub's going to find out, if he doesn't already know, that he doesn't have a jump cue. Good evening, Popman. Who's that there? Is that, oh, that Moz? Oh, there's a stranger. And I'll say something, whoever makes these, whoever makes the little tournament logo pictures, they're going to have to make them in a higher quality. That's pretty crap. That is very low res, that image. In fact, it's not very good at all, to be honest with you. Good evening. Well, Mooncake has got another chance from Stub's attempted escape. Well, he's played that one okay. Can just run onto the rail, leave himself fairly straight on that 9. And this will get one back. Who's that? Right, you're going to have to remember who, remind me who your VP4 name is. I can't remember. Well, Stub's got everything loose now. He should be back in front from here. Well, let's see what he's done here. Well, he's going to have to nudge this in and get that cue ball off the rail. And he has to try and get that cue ball right up the table to give himself an angle, and that's a reasonable enough angle to come down onto the 5. Where's the cue ball going? Where is it going? Oh, goodness me. Well, it did everything but drop. Now, can he see the 5? Is he blocked out by the knuckle? No, he isn't. Well, he got fortunate there, big time. That could have been a minor disaster. Well, this is a little tester. This can easily go to the point of the knuckle and just hang up. Got to get this sweet any slight bit of English on that Q-tip there, on that cue ball, and that'll push it. And these pockets don't give you much. But in it goes. I presume it's tournament pockets, or what you call narrow. It looks like it. So anyway, we are into rack number 4, and I haven't checked my little doodle. Let me just check that. There we go. Everything's working okay. We're good to go. So the alternate brake is going to make a big difference. It always does. It puts so much more pressure on you to actually get a ball in the brake and try and make something from it. And Mooncake has got to try and stay with Stub. And of course, the big thing is, the longer he can stay with Stub, deeper into the match, the more the nerves will play a big part. And of course, now the big decision has to be made. If he gets this cue ball up the table, he can leave an angle in the 6 and he can try and break the 7 and 8, but it'd be maybe more sensible to try and, well, see, even looking at that, that has to be well made, that combo. So, and he's now gone 2 straight in the 6, so he's got no choice. He's going to try and put left English and spin over to it, but he's never going to get there. But if he comes out and kisses a 9, he won't be in any better position than that to play the combo. That has landed as good as it possibly could. And he's just going to have to pick that cut angle in the 7 and make that combo. Well, I don't know what he tried there, but that was an absolute shambles, that one. Did he try and play it safe behind the 8 and get distance on it? Because if he tried to play the combo, he was nowhere near it. And Stub's going to have to go up and down. But it has to be said, it's a chance that's gone. And like I say, he has to make the most of the opportunities. And Stub is going to have a gap of 2 racks early on in the match. And Mooncake, with a rating of 2088, that's probably been gathered from challenge rooms. Unless he was under a different name in tournaments, I don't know. But it's now 3-1 to Stub. I'm going to have a quick look and see. I've got the bracket on my second monitor. Well, the winner of this match, where the hell is it again? I can't see him. There he is. The winner of this match goes through to play the winner of Interchange X or Pope. Now, Pope is another name I've never heard of. And these are people that have came to VP4 during this lockdown period. Whether they're going to stay after it's all done and dusted, it's probably unlikely. Well, Mooncake has another chance here. He's got to get right back on this 6 ball. And if he can stop the cue ball, he's going to leave himself high in the 7, but it's the only way he's going to get that 7 in, unless he's brave enough to try and get up behind the 8 ball on that top rail. And the angle he's got is not conducive to doing that very well, but he's tried to roll it through and he's made a pretty damn good effort at it, and that is perfect. I didn't think he could get through on the angle that he had, but clearly he did. Is there lag on YouTube? I think Twitch must be the best at the moment. They might be throttling bandwidth with the amount of people that's probably on there or something. But Twitch is usually good. So Mooncake has got 1 back, and he also has the break in rack number 6. don't forget that when you're on YouTube, do a quick refresh, and also if you're worried about the quality of the stream, look at the little cogwheel in the bottom right hand corner of the stream on YouTube, and just click on it, because you can change the resolution. It'll choose a default resolution, but if you want to watch it in 1080, you have to choose it. So just one in it. Stubbs played the push out. Now Mooncake has a choice. He can either play a shot, which he's not going to get much from it, or he can put Stub back in. Now these balls are all pretty wide open, and it's important it gets that safe, and that's not a bad safety. That's sensible enough. Well, the thing is, if you are getting lag, it might be worth doing a reboot. Well, Stubbs played the bank, but he was always going to leave himself a problem, and I don't think he's got the angle off that rail to kick this 2 in. He's too narrow. He needs a wider angle, and he hasn't got it behind that 7. I don't think he can make it. He's only going to push that to the bottom rail, and I think he knows that looking at it. Well, the other thing as well that might affect it is the fact that I'm here in Scotland and YouTube's set in the States. So is Twitch, mind you. But I don't know where their servers are over here. Well, Stubbs managed to get the kick safe, and he's blocked Mooncake out. And likewise, well, it looks far easier to kick it from the right side. He's looking from behind the 9, and if he plays it that way, it's the more difficult shot, but he's got a chance of kicking it in, but he's missed it. And that wasn't difficult to hit. It was not a difficult shot to actually make. Where's my bottle? I don't like that background image at all. That's ugly. Hang on a minute. Well, Stub given an easy run out by Mooncake, missing the kick on the 2, and the gap goes to 2 again. The break this time though stays with Stub, and he spotted the 7. He's got no shot in the 1 other than a combo. And he's played the combo, and he's brought the cue ball back across. Had no idea that the 1 ball was going to finish there, so that's a bit of good running. And now the problems start, because he's got a slight angle on the 2. He's going to have to leave an angle on that 3, and he's way high. He's in bedhead territory with a cut shot here. Yeah, that's the COVID-19 virus. Well, he's missed the cut, and that was asking too much, that shot in the 3. But Stub is relying on the fact that Mooncake can't get out here. The 4 ball is dead on the right hand side, but if you could get the left hand side, or get a lucky kiss on this click, and that has worked out nice. He's got the break. Now, can he run out here? He's got to take his time, get his line of sight on this 4-ball and get up the table. He's going to have to be seen to be competitive here if he's going to keep the pressure on Stub. And that's nice. That is perfect weight. And he's left a slight angle. Just a slight angle. He's going to have to punch this in or either stop it and leave this 8-ball long. Well, now he's in between. Does he cut it into the middle? If he does, he's going to do well to hold for the 9, or does he play it long? And he's coming across, needs to kiss the 9. Oh, that's beautiful. What a nice little brush off the 9. And that's got 1 back again for Mooncake. Trails by 1. The break goes back to himself into rack number 8. And the break looks dry to me. Stub is left with the reverse double on the 1 ball, 2 balls up on the top rail. And he's had a blast at it, and I think he tried to break the 2 out. And he's brought it off the rail, but once again he's left with a very, very thin cut at distance. And he's missed it in the way up and kicked it from behind. Well, we've got problems at the bottom end of the table here. The 4 and the 5 ball are awkward. The 4's very difficult to get to. So there's work needs to be done. The 3 ball's tied behind the 9. It does go, but you're going to have to get on it. And once again, Stub's going to go for the bank. This time he should be over. Oh no, he's managed to make the cut. Again, I never thought he could make that cut in the middle. My eyes need testing. Well, this is the one that's going to cause the first problem. Is getting a shot in the 4 now. Does it go past the 9? It's nowhere near past it. Not the 9, the 5. Well, he's got an easy safety. He can brush it into the 5 and go up the table. He's trying to push it behind the 5, but he's left a gap. I don't think Mooncake can see enough of that. And he's just hidden enough of that 4 ball. Now this is difficult to get safe because you only have one path the cue ball's going to go here. Over to the left rail, he should be trying to get up behind the 7 and 8. He's got the angle to do that, but the problem with that is he doesn't know where the 4 ball's going to end up. Well, he's played that with inside English to just get it as safe as he can, and that'll do. But once again, Stub is going to look to line up the bank, and this is going to have to be made. This isn't a set bank if he's going to go for it. He's going to have to pick the line off that left rail. And in fact, he's went for a cut, and again, Stub's playing very attacking, and again, I keep stressing, when Stub plays like this, you have to be able to punish him for these mistakes. It's all a question of whether Mooncake can take enough of them to stay with him deep into the match. Because when it gets to that stage, it doesn't matter who's playing. The nerves start to jangle when the pressure starts to build. Well, that's a high enough angle. He can actually cut the 6 and go down to the right past the 9 ball towards that right middle pocket if he wants. If he plays the right shot, that is, because that will give him a shot in the 7. I don't think the 7 goes past the 8. No, that's too tight. Well, he's played the shot I was talking about, but he's overhit it and he's hooked himself. And again, what was looking like possible triumph in this rack has ended up in disaster, and again he's going to have to kick and hope. And that'll be the second rack that he's going to give to Stub if he doesn't get this safe. And where's it going? Corner pocket. Well, he's got the luck, but he's going to have to play another one. He needs another good shot in this 8. It's a very difficult cut into the left corner. And he's played it well, but look at where the cue ball's going. Well, this is again a bank that has to be made. He can reverse bank it to the top right corner pocket. If he's going to bank it up to the top left, he's going to have to make the angle. It isn't there. I think he'd be better going for the top left corner because he's got a double chance of making a bank, but he has to make the angle. He has to set that 9 towards the middle diamond, and I think he's overdone it. Yeah. Well, the chance is probably gone. I think the 9 is fairly tight to the top rail. Let's have a quick look. Oh, this is a tester. That's nailed to the rail. That is not a gimme. He's got to get this sweet right on the point of that 9 ball to make it stay to the rail. And he's got it in. It wiped its feet. But it's a second rack that has gone a begging for Mooncake when he's had a very good chance to pinch it. And that's 2 extra racks on the board for Stub, and that's why he's leading 5 racks to 3. And Stub gets the 8 ball in the break. He has an awkward cut in the 1. Well, he could have played that better. Now that cue ball is about a foot short of where he wanted it to make it a lot easier to pot the 2. And now he's going to have to avoid the traffic here when he's trying to get the cue ball out to get up the top end of the table and down. Well, he's played the reverse bank again. He's playing it fast and loose, Stub. Well, I think he might just kill the cue ball here. I don't know whether he wants to risk drawing this back. He might just kill it. Yeah, just leave it into the middle. It's all about leaving yourself as little to do to get onto that next ball and keeping it simple. But the important shot is coming next. This is the one that's going to decide the rack. Is getting down and good on this 7 ball. And he's got choices. If he can go forward or he can come back. It looks as if he's going forward, and that'll end up perfect. And now it's not looking too good. Good evening. Welcome to the one of very few live streams that we'll be doing over the next few weeks and however long. So Stub is now widening the gap, and this is looking slightly dangerous here for Mooncake. He has to try and stay with him. And those 2 racks that he lost, well, they could have been so precious right now. Mooncake has broke off, and he's broke dry in rack number 10. Well, this just has to be nice and gentle. You don't want the 2 ball squirting away somewhere. Well, the problem right now is the 4 ball, and he's going to leave that fairly awkward. That's a tightish cut into the middle. He's going to have to send that to the far jaw and just let it drop in. Well, now he should be home and dry here. And I think Stub will just loosen up even more, that he's not feeling the pressure now. He's got that gap and he's just about to widen it even more. And it's now 7 racks to 3. And of course, once you build up a gap like this in a match, the big problem starts when you then add into the equation the fact that it's alternate break, because if it's just the winner breaks, at least you have a chance of running a couple of racks. The problem with alternate break is you don't, because you're then relying on your opponent to come up dry and give you a set and an opportunity to run that next rack, and that's going to happen very little. Very little chances like that are going to happen. So the odds are stacked against Mooncake now with a 4 rack gap. Stub's going to have to start making some serious errors here for Mooncake to get back into this. And more importantly, Mooncake, when he gets chances, he simply has to take them now. And he's got one now. If he can just chip that one ball in, he needs to watch the scratch in the bottom right hand corner here if he's going to come up this end. Well, he's come out to the left with a little spin. I think he's dead straight, so he might try and leave the gap between the 8 and the 5. That would be the safest one to do, because you'll get plenty of room to just play through the gap. And then the next important one is having enough angle, which he does have on this 4, just to come up the table. Now he's going to have to possibly try and go inside the 6 ball on the right hand side and come up past this middle pocket if he can. Well, he's let the cue ball run away, and now he's in no man's land. He's got an awkward shot, and awkward from the point of view that you have to make your mind up what you're doing here. You want to stay top side of the 9 like he's done, or drop through, because dropping through is dangerous. You could finish in the top rail and leave yourself no cut. Well, he's managed to do what's required so far and get to the 7. Can he run out? And this is just a little gentle draw to the left past that middle pocket. You don't want to chicken out in this shot, and he's played it well. Little stunny draw, and that's a well taken rack, and that gets 1 back. And of course, just when Mooncake's got the momentum, he's got the break, which is the advantage this time. He's pinched that rack off Stub. He breaks off in rack number 12. And has he got anything? Did anything go? Yep, the 3 ball's gone. Well, he ain't going to get much more in this rack, because the 9 and the 5 are locked up. The 1 and the 2 are locked up. And he's just played a nice little safety. Stub isn't hooked. He can see the edge of the 1. Now, Mooncake should be in trouble here in a second if Stub plays the decent safety here. I think he's hit that too hard. Yep. And it's a chance for Mooncake, albeit a slim one at this moment in time. He's got ball in hand. Now, the idea here is that if you can pot that 2, wherever he's going to pot it, and leave an angle on this 4 into the middle, he can break the 5 and 9. And that's what he's looking to do if he plays it right. And he's found almost a line. He's still got enough angle there to break that 5 and 9. And he has to ride his luck here. He doesn't know where everything's going to finish up. So, oh, that'll do. That will do very nicely. It's awkward, but he's got a shot. And if he just plays this gentle enough, he can use that 9 ball just to take some pace off the cue ball. Well, he's went full-blooded and he's hit that 9 full in the face. And again, don't chicken out. Make sure you overhit it. If anything, don't underhit it. Get that cue ball out. Well, he's just about got there. And now he has to be careful. Now, if you look, is there enough gap past the 9? Yes, there is plenty of room. And once again, make your choice as to where you're playing this 9 ball. Stud the 8 in, get up the table. Be 100% certain in what you're doing here. And he's played it well. Well, is it going to be 2 quick racks in a row here for Mooncake? Oh dear, well that's an absolute choker. That is a choker and a half. I think he saw the winning line in the rack and he blew it big time. That was a shocker of a miss. It's all about getting yourself set up to play the shot, and that is a gift. And he might pay the price for that. He should have had that rack in the board. He should have got it back to within 2. But as it is, it's gone back to 4. And that's a really bad miss in the 9 ball. Well, there's no excuses for that shot. Did he take enough time to set himself up and look at the line of the shot? I don't know what the shot clock is in this. I presume it's about 45 seconds and an extension of maybe 15 or 20. I don't know. I never even looked at that. But you've got to use your time when you've got it. But the other thing is that when you play a shot like that, you just have to get it straight out your head and go on with the next rack. Forget about it, because he's got a golden opportunity here. The balls couldn't be sitting any better. But once again, with that shot, he hadn't made his mind up where he was going. You have to dig into that cue ball and get it up the table or down the table towards us. He's left himself nowhere. And now he has to play the bank. He's going to have to hit this hard enough to get a double bank if he can. Well, I don't think he played the bank. I think he played the safety. And we'll give him his due there. He's played a good shot. Stub's going to have to spin this cue ball. He's going to have to dig into it if he's going to go off the right side rail to make the angle. He needs to dig into it a fair bit here. He's got to spin round that 7 and then hit the rail, and the rest of the spin will do the rest of the shot. He's got the kick, but he's not got it safe. So another opportunity. And the one thing is, you're not going to get an awful lot of chances to make Stub pay for any mistakes that he makes. But the scoreline in this match already could have been so much different if Mooncake had taken those 2 racks early on, and if he hadn't blown that 9 ball there. So if he finishes this match and wonders what happened, then he should look at the video and see where it went wrong and what racks he should have won. Well, he's missed the 6, and I'm presuming that he played to pot the 6, and he's left Stub a pretty good bank here. I don't think he'll go for the cut. He'll surely go for the bank. The bank looks a dead set past that 7 ball. Now, once again, he's trying to thin it at that distance, and to try and pick the edge of that 6 ball from the opposite end of the table is so tough. Why he didn't play the percentage shot? The percentage shot is play the bank, because you've got 2 chances of the bank going in. If you miss it on the way down, it will go in the way back up. And Mooncake has just blown it again. He's played a difficult cut in the 6. and he scratched, and it just gifted it on a plate to Stub. There's another rack that has gone a begging. This could have been a tied match, more or less, when you think about what's happened. And the scoreline has been a lot more generous in terms of Stub's performance. He's not really had to do an awful lot. He's been gifted 4 racks now, and the gap goes to 5. Well, Mooncake, couple of balls in the break, and once again the balls are at his mercy. Simply has to get this one. Well, that again is not a great shot. He's left himself awkward in this 3, and these are pressure shots. And he's played it well, but you don't want to start giving yourself more work to do than you really need to. Now he's gone straight in the 8, but I think he can run around the corner. He has got enough angle just to run around the corner and come over to the left. Needs to watch the middle pocket. He's okay. Now again, with this 9 ball, unlike that earlier one, get himself set, look at the line, make sure you haven't put English in the cue ball, and pot it. It gets 1 back, but he's still trailing by 4. Stub with the break, the 3 ball goes in. And has he got a shot in that one? Where's that 2 ball going? Well, that has come to Mooncake's rescue there, because Stub had a line beaded on that 1 ball, and he's played the kick, and lo and behold, it's Stub's turn for a bit of good fortune. And now he's going to be left with a 2-9 combo, which is not too difficult. Well, it's become more difficult since he's bounced off the rail and come out. Now, is he going to play this firm, or is he going to play it fairly gentle? Because that'll give it the best opportunity of going in. But if he chickens out on it, it's going to hang up, but no messing about. And Stub gets the double figures, and it's 10-5, and Mooncake has the mountain to climb. He better get his crampons on right now. Stub looking at a possible combo of some sorts here. I don't know what he's looking at. Well, he's tried to actually bank the 9, and it may well have gone in if it hadn't clipped that 2 ball. I need another drink here. I'm drying up. Well, a little kiss in the 9 would be handy, because that brings it right into play. But is Mooncake good enough to take this chance? You have to come up with the goods at certain points in the match, and now would be a good time to take this rack out if he can. Oh, good luck. Oh, is it the tournament or what? Or is it just a match? I haven't even looked at the rest of the bracket to see who's due to play who. Well, I think you can only draw back and play the bank on the 6. Let's have a look and see what he's left himself. You know, it's a fair bank. Again, he's going to have to pick the line. It's just missing the 8 ball and no more, and he's played it well. And here's the crucial one, because that cue ball, he doesn't want to run in to the side rail. Oh, and again, He's thinking too much about the cue ball and forgetting about the 7. And it's another one that is going to go a begging. Well, of course, if Stub is gifted this many chances, he's going to just gobble them up and spit them out. This is too easy. Under no pressure. And it's 11-5. And a break with Stub in rack number 17. And the break has come up dry. Mooncake with no shot. Well, he's gone for the reverse bank, but he's got nothing to show for it. At that distance, it was going to be very difficult to avoid the traffic and get up to any sort of shot in the 2, but he can play a thin one and try and get this cue ball. Well, I think he's decided he's just going to go for things. Yeah, he's had a fair amount of chances. He's had racks that he should, you know, maybe if he was a higher rated player, he may well have been able to take those, but he's gifted a fair few racks to Stub. And well, this time Stub's scratched. The chances like this that you get with ball in hand, you have to take your time and do your best to try and get something out of it. But look at where the 8 and 9 is. I mean, we can see that the 8 goes. The 8 goes from either side. Obviously, you don't want to be playing it from this side if you can help it. But to get on that 8, you have to really get up to at least here to have a shot without fouling the 9. Now, is Mooncake going to be able to get there again? Now this has gone straight, so once again he has I think he has a slight angle. Well, he has. He can come around the corner, pinch a bit of the corner pocket with top right English. Let's have a look. What has he got here? Well, I don't know whether he wants to again check this cue ball, because if he doesn't, he's going to run around and come over to the right hand side. Yeah, that's what he's tried to do. He's tried to help it in with more English to get there, and he's got there, but again at the price of actually doing what's required, potting the ball on first. His mind's on the position of the cue ball and actually not enough on the object ball and what he's doing with it. And Stub's going to go for the bank, and he'll probably hit this with enough pace to give it every chance to go in, either that pocket or the other one. Well, he's hung it up, and I think for the first time in this match, Stub has really gifted the chance of a rack for Mooncake. Now, how's this 7 ball finished up? Well, he can just push that dead weight and drop it in. Well, I'm not doing anything, so once this match is over, if they're playing in the tournament, then I can catch that match, or what remains of it. I don't think Mooncake's got enough of this 8 ball, has he? Yes, he has. Just enough and no more. Well, another 9 ball to roll in. And it's still a long way back for Mooncake, but he's got it back to 11-6. Yeah, if Larry and SemiPro are playing, I'll watch that, because I say I'm not doing anything tomorrow. The only problem I'll have is, I mean, I'm already tired. Bear in mind, I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning, And it's already, what time is it? It's 10 to 9 at night here at the moment, so the old brain's in shutdown mode, and it'll be even worse when I get into that match. Oh, it's not a tourney match. Oh, well, that's fine. If it's not, I thought it was in this tournament. If it's not in this tournament, I'm not interested. No, I've got better things to do than that. If it was the tournament match, I would have watched it. Stub looking for distance here. He's played a good one. Well, that's a good kick. Always a strong possibility of potting that one ball when you pick the line right. So Stub has to kick and try and kick safe though. Blocked out there on the 2 ball, and he's left it on. Well, again, I couldn't stress it even more than this. The balls are all there. Can Mooncake take this out? Now this has to be delicate. He has to get the pace in this right if he's going to roll through in this 5 ball. And you see, that's the problem with that shot. The problem is not going through far enough. He had to be through at least at worst to here, because then he could still go up, and he's left it awkward, and he's run into the 6, and now he needs another good one. You know, he's run out of shape here. Right, somebody tell me what tournament it is. Is it this tournament? In fact, hang on a minute. I can't see it. Well, I can't move to my second monitor to move the bracket up and down. Anyway, we'll find out when the match is over here. I'll see it in the lobby if it is. If it is, we'll catch some of it. If it's this actual tournament, this Masters tournament. Well, Mooncake has got another one back, but he still trails by 4, and the Stub breaks off. And I think the 1 ball, I thought the 1 ball had gone. No, it hasn't. It was the what? The 5. And I think he's going to have to play the combo, which he tried, but once again he's going all out for the combo, and he's given Mooncake a chance. Now this again has to be delicate. If he's going to leave the gap to get on the 2, and he's managed to do it. Now can he punish Stub in this rack? Every opportunity there for him to do it. Well, that's poor, because he's gone dead straight in the 3, and he's going to have to punch this in to get that cue ball out, to get the potting angle. Well, he's decided he's not doing it. He's going to have to thin cut it, and now the cue ball's going to run loose. He's now relying on a bit of good fortune here to get a shot on this 6. Can he hold the gap? He certainly can. That wasn't good fortune, that was well played. Got to back it up though. No good playing one good shot and then falling apart in the next one. Well, once again, he's just gone short the wrong side of the 7. He's making himself hard work here. But confidently strokes it in. And now he's got nothing simpler than a roll in the 8. Or a little stun, whichever he's comfortable with. And he's got another one. And this time I think he's going to have the break, is he? Yes, he is. Now here is an important rack. This is very important that he get a ball in the break, and I don't think he has. Oh, he has now. The 2 ball just drops in. He's going to have to play the bank on the 1, and he's only going to get 1 shot at it. And look where the 3 ball is. He's going to have no shot in the 3. And he's looking to keep it safe, but the only thing he's done is he's brought the 3 into play for Stub. If he can pot this 1. Not an easy shot though. He's played it well. Now I don't know whether that 3 goes in clean. No, it doesn't. And this is a wee bit... it's a wee test of that. He played that well. That was not a gimme the way that 8 was sitting. He had to play that 3 onto that 8 in the right manner for it to drop. Well, did Mooncake play the right shot there on that 1 ball? Did he actually try and bank that 1 somewhere, or did he simply try and play it safe? Because the pace he had on it, he broke the 3 ball out, and that would have suggested that he went to actually hopefully pot that 1. But all he's done is he opened the table up for Stub, and he's now going to pay the price. And that's where you have to then weigh up the pros and cons of the shot you're going to play. Do you go all out to win it, or do you leave that 3 ball in a sort of safe position it was in and try and cause your opponent problems? Well, all Mooncake did was just make life that bit easier for his opponent. Oh, Yamaguchi Taru, he's taking a vacation from Shooter's Pool, is he? That's where he's been hanging out for the last few weeks. But anyway, Stub is now within 3 of making it through to round 2. He leads by 12 racks to 8. And he breaks off. And he's got the 5 in the break. And I don't know whether he can see enough of the 1. He certainly can't. Played the kick. Oh, that knuckle has done him a favour. That has done him a favour big time. And Mooncake is in a whole heap of pain here. Well, first objective is to pick the line to hit that 1. He's better going 2 rails here. Side rail, top rail, and he's got the kick. How's his luck? Where's the 2 ball going? I don't think that's too bad, is it? What am I talking about, the 2 ball? It was a bloody 1 ball. That's me falling asleep already. I forgot what ball he played there. Well, this is a similar shot to what Stub had on the 1. Stub managed to pot his. Well, I don't know what he was doing there. He surely could get past the 7. I don't think... Well, if he could, I don't think he thought he had the angle to play that kick in the 1, but again, Stub isn't caring. He's got ball in hand, and he's the wrong angle in this too. He's going to have to work the cue ball here a bit. Well, he's decided he's just going to roll through, play it in the short side, and he's looking now to run up towards that 7 ball. With this cue ball, the angle's going to take it up towards the 7. And here's the important one. quick look at where the 6 is. Doesn't go past the 9, doesn't go past the 8, so he's going to have to get a lot of work into the cue ball to try and get up to the top rail somewhere to be able to play a shot in the 6, unless he wants to try and play a combo. Well, he's trying to get a bit of luck here, and he's managed to brush the 8, and he's left a shot on the 6, albeit not a gimme, but he will be on the 7 when he plays this. Oh, he's had a blast at that for no reason at all, and these are the type of opportunities that you simply have to take. Stubbs lashed out, didn't need to. Could have potted the 6 and just let the cue ball run. He was always on the 7, and well, Mooncake has to drop this 7 in dead weight, just roll it in with enough pace to get to the hole. Little bit of inside to check the cue ball, and that's another rack Stub has gifted back to Mooncake. And I think the break goes to Mooncake as well in this next rack, does it? I'm pretty certain it does, yep. So he's back to 12-9, and a ball in the break and a shot is all he's asking for. And I don't think he has it, has he? Nope. And Stub, well, he's going to run out here unless he does something silly. Everything is sitting there waiting to be put in the hole. There is no problems. The problems are going to be if Stub creates them himself. Well, if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong in this next shot. When he plays the 5, it's getting down onto the 6, and things can go wrong if he goes right side of the table. If he goes right side of the table, he's taking a big risk in blocking himself off with the 9 or the 7. So he's going to have to get a good angle on this 5, and this is where it can turn this rack right in this next shot. Well, it looks to me that he's either going to have to force this in and try and come across the table twice to play the 6 from the left hand side. If he's going to take the risk, he could end up in trouble. And again, he's had a blast and he's fluked a 5, and would you believe it, he's kissed a 6 and he's lying plumb. Now how's that for good luck? Made a right complete hash of the 5, flukes the 5, brushes the 6, and he's lying perfect. And that has got to hurt. That is a sore one. And these are the ones, remember, if you watch these streams, you know I keep talking about it all the time. Don't get the top side of the 9. And Stub just wants to finish to the top right of that right middle pocket. That's where he's going. Unless he wants to risk it across the table twice, but I certainly wouldn't. I'd just be cutting that in and over to the right hand side. And the pace is good and he's perfect. So, well, Mooncake is now staring down the barrel here, albeit a huge bit of good fortune for Stub, but it takes him to within 2 of victory, leading by 13 racks to 9. Gets a 6 ball in the break. Something else must have went in as well. Yep, the 4 and the 6 have gone. He's got the bank on the 1, he's on the 2, and this rack is over. He's going to maybe play this with inside just to check the cue ball and push that cue ball back towards the 8 so it goes to the inside in the left rail. He's got a big enough gap to get to the 3. It's all about just the pace, and that's again well played. And he has enough angle on the 3 to punch it in, get off that top rail and out to the right, and leave himself the cut in the 5. And that looks pretty good. So Stub is going to be within 1. And I'm thinking in my head how many racks that Mooncake could have had. I think he could certainly have another 4 racks on the board at least, even with the best will in the world. You know, you're not being generous by saying that. He could have at least another 4 racks to his name, if not 5. And look at the score. It's 14-9. And Mooncake breaking off in a rack that he must win. He's had a good break. He's had what? We've lost the 2, the 4 and the 6, and he's got a shot in the 1, but he's got traffic to avoid here if he's cutting it into the middle, because that 9 and 5 are going to get in the way. Well, he's missed the 1 anyway, but that could well have been Mooncake's last shot there. Stub's got a straight roll in the 1. Nice kiss on the 3. Wrong angle in the 3, I think. Has he? Yes, he's got the wrong angle, so looks like a draw to the rail. Well, this is the one, the only lifeline that Mooncake has is this shot right now. And he's looking just to get behind a 7, and that will do very nicely. I don't think he could have lifted it with his hand and stuck the cue ball there to be any more perfect. 8 ball into the same pocket. Well, he's left himself the high cut again, but he should get this. And in it goes. And so Stub, albeit with some help from his opponent and also a very healthy fluke, he wins the match by 15 racks to 9, and he's through to round 2. And as I say, he's going to play the winner of Interchange X or Pope, and they have not arranged their match yet, so Stub is going to have a bit of a break. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the lobby. We'll look at the tournament rooms, and we'll see that Larry is playing semi-pro, and we'll go in there. I am just going to shut the PM down because I'm streaming, so don't PM me. And you should know that by now. So we're now into the Larry semi-pro match, and we're into rack number 4. And semi-pro, I don't know how he's played so far and how much he's been assisted, but semi-pro has romped away to a 3-0 lead, and Larry has left himself just a bit too much the wrong side of this 6 ball here, but for comfort's sake. And that's what happens. Larry's at it again. Friday night 9 ball, he kept doing the same thing. He kept getting himself out of line. Admittedly, in Friday night 9 ball, he recovered every time. But this might be a tale of woes for Larry already. Just going inside that 6 ball there left him a wee bit more to think about, and that's what creates the problems. And meanwhile, SemiPro has almost scratched. The 8 ball does go, but it's very tight, and he's going to have to bring the cue ball up and down the table here. But this could be a sore one for Larry. He should have taken that out. And SemiPro has this 8 ball and a shot in the 9 to take it to 4-zip. Well, he's played the combo instead. A brave man and a good shot, and that has got to hurt. And it's Larry getting himself out of shape again. And it's now 4-0. And he's going to have to tighten up. He's just letting that cue ball run out of line too often. So SemiPro has played the push out. He's left Larry the option of playing the shot or putting SemiPro back in, but Larry's got a good chance of hiding this cue ball here. Well, he's decided he's going all out, but you have to back this up though. He's got himself Chinese snookered over the 9. Well, Larry only seems to want to have one method of play, and that has just come out fighting. But, well, he has to, I said this with Mooncake, you have to back yourself up. If you're going to go for those sort of shots, you have to make good and you have to take out the rack. And if you don't do it, then you've failed. And you've failed by the wrong choice of shot. Well, there's a huge area to get the cue ball into to have a shot in the 5, so shouldn't have a problem here. I should have brought another bottle of water because my voice is going. Well, that's another really poor shot by Larry. And it's going from bad to worse. Now, he had to play that with inside left spin, and when you do that off the rail and you kick the 5 ball, the cue ball's only going to go one direction, along the rail into the pocket. So ball in hand, and SemiPro is getting it handed to him in a plate in the racks that we've seen so far. Well, it's 5-zip, and remember what I said in that first match. 5-0 is not a disaster in a race to 15 and 9 ball, but once you add alternate break into the equation, you're climbing a hill right from now. And at 5-0 down in alternate break, Larry's in trouble. He's now having to rely on the fortune of the break going against SemiPro, and not only that, he's going to have to rely when he gets his own break that he gets a ball and he manages to play something. So it's going to be tough for Larry. SemiPro under no pressure other than when he's given the opportunity, he's going to take them out. And Larry once again has found the only ball that could have caused him trouble. He's ran full head on into the 9 ball, hooked himself in a 2, and now it's the old kicking hole. And this time he's got a bit of luck. SemiPro hooked in the 2, an easy kick. Oh, again, Larry's the wrong side of the 2 to be playing a bank and trying to get on that 3 ball. He should be playing a decent safety here and has an easy opportunity to get a half decent safety off this 2. You can run in behind the 5 and 6. That needs to slow up a bit. That might have too much juice on it. In fact, has he just got there? Let's have a look. In the end, he's actually played a good shot. It just got to the 8 and no more. If that had held up, he left the 2 wide open. Well, now he's got his chance. Now, is he going to find a way out in this rack? He has to get himself off and running at some point sooner rather than later if he's going to have any chance in this match. Oh dear. Well, it just ain't happening. He's hung up the 3. Maybe he was playing better before I arrived into this room. Maybe I've jinxed him. I'd love to know what happened in the first 4 racks. Well, SemiPro has got work to do here. Yeah, had to dig into that cue ball. And Larry gets a second bite at the cherry here. Now, when he cuts this 4, well, he's decided against it. I was going to say when he cuts the 4, the chances are he's going to break into the 5 and 6, but he's decided he's not risking it. He's going to try and wait for a better opportunity. And he's not got it this time. SemiPro gets the kick, gets it safe. And Larry wants to hit this like a feather and just try and keep that cue ball behind a 5 and 6. I don't even think he's got the cover here. I think Semi can get to the 4 through the gap. A wee bit of spin and he can hit this 4 full in the face and punch it up the table and leave the cue ball there. No, he's decided just to play the little delicate one, but the double kiss has blown that safety. It looked easier to me to use a bit of help and left spin round that 8 ball, punch the 4 and punch it up the table and leave the cue ball where the 4 is. Well, that shot by Larry has left him the combo which he has to make. It's not anywhere near set and I don't think he's going to risk it. Is he? Yeah, and he's miles off it and needs a bit of luck. Well, it's not easy, but SemiPro has the chance to widen the gap even more and make the pain hurt even more for Larry here. Oh dear. Well, now he's got a toughie. And he's just dropped it in off the jaw, and that is perfect. He's got a tiny slight angle, but probably just a little roll through it. And it has to be a good angle on the 8. Well, he's decided to leave this long. I would have been more inclined to try and run it through to play it into the middle at least. This is tough. But it just goes straight in, and another tough one. He's not rolled through far enough. But Larry's now at the point where he's relying on SemiPro making errors. And the trouble with that is that SemiPro is not inclined to make too many errors. And it's now 6-zip. I never noticed I wasn't paying any attention to the ratings at all. In fact, the one thing I would say is the ratings don't change in a tournament until the tournament's over, I think. Your actual tournament rating. Well, I've seen Larry, I can't remember what final it was, but he made a tremendous comeback and still managed to lose it. I think it was the Virtual 9-Ball World Championships I did. In fact, was it a final or was it a semi-final? Where he got himself into trouble, but this is a much shorter race to 15. And again, with the alternate break, the odds are stacked against Larry and digging himself out of this situation. There's not enough racks in this match for it to really turn so badly in Larry's favour, or so badly against SemiPro that he's not going to be picking off racks and enough racks to actually get himself over the line. It's very unlikely that Larry's going to come through this. SemiPro just has to mind his time at the table and take out the chances he's getting to just stay ahead of Larry all the way through. But it looks, it looks likely that he's finally going to get himself off the mark here. Well, it now looks healthier with something on the board, but the break immediately has gone back to SemiPro. It's a lead of 6 racks to 1. Semi breaking off. Now that's the 9-ball that has gone in, and the 9-ball gets respotted. Your rating changes straight after your match in a tournament match. That's the first time I've heard of that. That's a good safety by SemiPro. 1 ball fairly tight to the rail. Now there's good cover up the top end of the table here for Larry to play a decent safety, but he's gone all out for the 1 ball, and that is sticking your neck out far too far. And what's more, he's scratched. And when is Larry going to take his medicine and play the safety? He had all that cover there, a line of balls, the 7, the 9 and the 2, and he could have easily banked the 1 ball and brought the cue ball into the middle of the table. Okay, he might not have got a snooker, but he had a fair chance of getting one there, and he's went all out for a tight 1 ball down the rail. And well, if that isn't trying to send you a message, I don't know what is. When you play the shot that you really shouldn't be playing, and you then scratch, and you gift your opponent a chance to run out, then at some point the penny has got to drop. Remember, there's a lot more strategy in pool games and ways to try and win matches. Lock your opponent up, start messing with their head, and try and use a bit more strategy other than all-out attack, because all-out attack isn't working. When you're 6-1 down, all-out attack is not getting the job done. Taking chances that are 50-50 in terms of getting the actual pot, when a much easier safety shot was on, I don't think is the right way to be playing. And it's costing him dearly, and it's going to cost him even more in a couple of seconds if that cue ball holds up. But it's now gone into that territory that I talk about. Finishing the top side of the object ball leaves yourself awkward. But if he gets the pot, he's got to have a shot in the 8 ball. And he's hung it up, and Larry is looking for a gift. And, well, he's got one. And this is what I was also saying, that, you know, Larry can't be relying on SemiPro making too many mistakes. Well, he's made one there that may well be costing him, and Larry somehow has got himself out of jail here. Oh, am I out of sync again? Aye, my head's out of sync. Oh, I'm totally tired. I do apologise. It's well past my bedtime. Yeah, I got that all wrong. Oh dear. Well, it's now 7-1. It doesn't matter who's at the table. It's the most important thing is it's 7-1. My head's gone to sleep. I knew I shouldn't have done this match. Well, in that case then, was it SemiPro that played the cut in the 1 then? Now that I mention it. Because at that point was the point I wasn't paying attention to who was at the table. It must have been SemiPro that played the cut down the rail in the 1. Because, to be honest with you, was it Larry that played that? So I was right enough. I don't know what happened then for me to totally lose the plot as to who was at the table. Well, I was still right enough in saying what I said. No way should I took that 1 on. Not in a month of Sundays should I have been cutting that 1 ball at that angle with the 1 so tight to the rail. Well, that's just going to hold up, I think. This is fine. Or is he going to play the bank? The bank looks easier to me than playing a thin cut. Yeah, plays the bank. It's a nice kiss in the 6. I don't think he'll play the bank this time. I think the cut's a shot to play, because that'll bring him back across the table for the 7. Unless he wants to try and stun up for the 7. We'll soon find out. Looks as if, yeah, he's playing the stun. And now, just a little punch to hold the cue ball. Well, now it's definitely SemiPro at the table, and he's definitely looking to be going 8-1 up, halfway home. And Larry, well, he's a long way from home. And the break stays with SemiPro. Rack number 10. Looks dry to me. Oh, now, what we got here? Well, that's a dead set, so Larry's got a shot. Needs to be careful with this, because once again, he could block himself out in the one. The combo's on, but has to worry about where that one ball's going to end up. And that's why he's played a sort of draggy shot to stop the one ball squirting away, but has he still got a cut? Yep, and, well, there you go. You know when it's not going to be your night when that happens. He's scratched in the middle, the balls are wide open, and SemiPro has just had a welcome mat laid at his feet and said, help yourself. Where can this go wrong? It's going to be an unforced error if anything's going to go haywire in this run out. Well, he's played a poor one there. He didn't go through with the shot there at all. That is certainly not where he wanted to be on this 4 ball. But the pace on the 4 ball has left him plumb on the 6. Well recovered. Who's Lorraine Dolan? Oh dear. Well, is Larry going to breathe again? SemiPro has managed to find himself in a hole here. But he's picked a line out for the bank, and that was a great shot. That was not easy to pick the line with such close contact between the cue ball and the 8. But it's now 9-1 to SemiPro. And this is turning into a nightmare for Larry. And Larry isn't getting much luck at all. Managing to find all sorts of ways to scratch. And then you add the fact that he can't get a ball in the break. Well, it looks as if he's doomed to be trying to battle his way through this one lost side unless some sort of semi-miracle starts happening. But I reckon I've got as much chance of walking in water tomorrow morning as Larry has of digging out a result in this match. SemiPro comes to the table, shot in the 1. Oh dear. He's, well, I think the spin that he had in the cue ball was the undoing of him there. Well, there is a glimmer of hope for Larry in this rack. He has the chance. He's got work to do because that 6 ball isn't going anywhere up there. That's if he gets that far. Now, why is there 8 people in this room? Why aren't they all watching my stream? Well, here's where Larry is going to have to. He's going to have to hope for something here, because he's looking at a possible 6-9, but then again the problem there is the 7 ball's a blocker. He might be looking at that, but he's simply got to try and find a way to get the cue ball around the table and hope for a break. Unless he's going to try, I mean, it's unlikely he's going to try surely to make something here. If you look at the way these are set, is he going to try and run the 6 onto the 9 and onto the 7? Yeah. But you had to rely on that 6 ball staying adjacent, and it has done. I just read that chat there after the shot was played. Well, it was never going to be a certainty that Larry was going to find the way out here, but he's somehow managed to deal with the problem at the top right hand corner pocket. And now just a chip in the 9 for his second rack in the board. But he still trails by 7. Break goes back to SemiPro. And SemiPro has come up dry, and look at this table. Larry has to run out here. No ifs or buts. Simply has to do what's expected of him. There is no excuse whatsoever here for failure. He cannot afford it. Now the problem immediately is where he's ended up in this 2. Again, he's gone too far, and the cue ball is running towards the 4, and this is already threatening to go wrong here for Larry. He's avoided the 4, but look at the cue ball. Well, again, it's just threatening to run away from Larry here. Needs another good shot to get this cue ball under control on this 4 ball. Well, that's not bad. Now, again, the problem is he can only see the top half of the cue ball, and the cue ball is running towards the 9 and the 5, and there's not a lot he can do with the cue ball. I think I don't know whether he's looking at the bank as opposed to the cut to try and give himself more to do with the cue ball, or more option to move the cue ball. Well, he's went all out for it, and once again, no joy. He's canning into the 9 and 5, and lo and behold, he's left himself blocked out with no jump cue, remember. No jump stick. But is he going to try the Yamaguchi Taru approach with the play cue? Because Yama could certainly jump with a play cue, but Larry doesn't get much practice with that, so he just went for the kick. And how's his luck when he's got none? And so once again, Larry has found a way to get himself into trouble. And once again, he's going to pay the price. A rack that the balls are all wide open, and he couldn't find the way home. And, well, that isn't helping the situation. That's the least you can say. SemiPro going through the motions, just potting the balls, sticking the rack in the board, and keeping Larry in the depths of despair, trailing in the distance. And lo and behold, commentators curse. SemiPro has hung up the 7, and Larry's going to have to massey around this 9, and he has to just chip this 7, because if he chips it too much, he's going to follow this 7 ball in. If he gets this too much, he'll follow it in like that. Commentator's eye spotted that one, and bye-bye to this rack. The glimmer of hope was quickly extinguished, and it's now going to be 10-2 to SemiPro, unless he scratches that cue ball, but he's okay. Well, Larry's created most of the problems himself. It's not a matter of luck. Getting himself out of line, cue ball running too loose, finding his way out of shape and leaving himself more work to do, going for 1 balls down the rail when the safety option was there, sticking his neck out too much, and add all those factors into it, and that's why you find yourself 10-3 down, or 10-2 down, sorry. And once again, Larry's gone for the bank. This time, played it with such a pace that he could get the double bank if he missed it first time. He needs to get himself straight on this 3 ball if he can, because the simple shots roll the 3 into the top left and just roll through for the 5. That's what he should be looking to do. He's trying to get himself as straight as he can, and that will do. So all he needs to do is roll through by about 4 inches and no more. So he's done the first part of what's required. And again, has to get the right angle on this 6 so that he can just drop onto the 7 on the left hand side and take it into that same corner the 5 ball's going in. Well, he's gone the other way. And now he's just going to have to gently roll this in with maybe a little tad. Well, I don't think he did anything. Maybe the angle was good enough for him. So look at where the 9 ball is. Pay attention to that 9 ball and look where the 8 ball is. There's so much where this can go wrong in getting it up the table onto that 9. And staying the top side or the bottom side of the 9 as we look. Not going top side of it. And I think that looks pretty good. So the mistake this time has cost SemiPro. It's now back to 10-3. Break though goes back to SemiPro. Ball in the break. A cut in the 1. 3 ball more or less over the corner pocket down here. It's sort of more on the rail than actually in the pocket, but very adjacent. SemiPro this time is not prepared to take the risk in the 1, and it's a much easier 1 than the shot Larry had. Well, he's called the push and now he's maybe thinking different. Changed his mind. went for the shot in the 1, but of course no real chance of getting good on the 2. Now there is a safety. The safety has cut that 2 to there and get the cue ball up the table there. Well, he's found a different way, but that works. That's even better. That is very nice. And Larry needs a lot of luck here. Not a difficult kick to hit the 2, but that 6 ball's going to hold the 2 up. If he hits this full in the face. Well, it's done him a favour. It's actually held the 2, killed it. 6 balls going up the table. Cue ball left in the corner. But there's a good chance of a double bank here. It could be a double bank combo if Semi doesn't get this into the corner, but he's not risking it. But now he's left Larry the bait, and Larry's going to take the bait. I have no doubt about that. The cut on the 2 onto the 3. Well, that needs to bounce. Oh, now he's going to have to work the cue ball a fair bit here. Find the gap between the 6 and the 7. Well, he's brushed the 7. That's actually helped him a bit. I think he's slightly the wrong side of the 4. Well, in fact, he's a fair bit the wrong side of the 4. Lots of inside right to check this cue ball, come back across to more or less where that diamond is there if he can. He's played it well. Nothing to do now other than pot the 5. He's on the 6. Well, once again, the safety that SemiPro played there left Larry the chance that he needed to play that 2-3 combo. And, well, it looks very likely he's going to get another one on the board. He's still nowhere near touching distance. And he's running out of racks. But he has the break, and this is where you want a ball and a chance. Well, he's come up dry, but he's come... Oh, no, he hasn't. Well, I think the worst thing's happened here. He's potted a ball and he's got no shot. That would have been perfect if it had come up dry. SemiPro would have had no shot, but now Larry's got to find the push out. And you've got to think about the push out, because the chances are SemiPro's going to try and find a way for cover here. He's going to have a sight on the 1 in a minute or 2. But Larry doesn't want to leave SemiPro the chance to lock him up behind the 6 and 8, or find the cue ball up behind the 2 and 9. That's the danger here. And Larry has pushed to the side rail. Now, what's he left? Well, he's left a pot. Well, he had left a pot. The gap was there to play it, but like I say, the chances are he was going to be behind the 6 and 8, or the 2 and 9. So he's behind the 6. And it's another kick and hope. And the 1 ball is going to be on. And it's just a gentle pot in the one to keep that cue ball up the top end. 3 ball goes past the 9, no problem. And it's going to be a 4-8 combo, a 4-7 combo. Now this is important, this shot, that SemiPro gets as close as he can to that left side rail. He doesn't want to be laying any big angles to play this 4-7 combo, because the more angle he has, the more likely the 4 ball's going to escape. And that is not bad. That's pretty good to leave the combo at that angle. But he has to play this gentle. He doesn't want to play it with any great pace, or the 4 ball will escape to the bottom rail. And well, it tried its best, but he still got the cut. And like I say, Larry winning those couple of racks, nothing he can do when the break goes to SemiPro. And it's now 11-4. And SemiPro with a chance to capitalise on winning that rack. But it's his turn to come up dry. But then again, he comes up dry, and he does leave Larry with no shot. And Larry, again, playing the push out, but he's now left himself wide open to be tied up. You look at these balls in the middle of the table. A gentle edge on that 1 ball, and SemiPro can find himself up the table and leave Larry in trouble again. Larry can pot this. That 2 ball's a good line to make the cut in the 1. He can just see it, but having to play it with pace to get the cue ball up and down the table, I don't know whether he'll get any joy playing this gentle. And needs a kiss. Well, is he going to go all out for the cut towards the 5 ball? He's got the angle there to do it. I think it's full-blooded cut in the 2, if he can see enough of the edge of that to try and cut it towards the 5. Yeah. This is the old blast and hope that you get enough power in that 2 to reach the 5. And he's managed to get that. Needs a bit of luck, needs to miss that 8. Well, everything's happened correctly in that shot. And now he has to look for the gap. I think the best to do here is just finish himself above the 7 and 8. Somewhere up here to have the shot. Looking at it from this angle, I don't know how Larry sees it, but that looks like all that's available, and he's played it right. That's the gap for the 3. Who the hell's this Lorraine Dolan? The right spin to help the cue ball over to the right hand side. And now this should be stunned in with a bit of help in English just to go over to the left as far as you can to make that 6 ball into the right middle. And again, Larry's gone far too far. He wanted to be here, or at worst here, to take that 6 into the middle and be on the 7. Now he's the wrong side of the 6. He's going to have to go around and start moving the cue ball again. And that looks pretty good. Nine ball wide open in the middle of the table, likewise for the 8 ball. Well, it's just about making the score look a bit more respectable for Larry. That's the sort of first objective. Anything else you get after that, then you just have to ride your luck. It's back to 11-5. And the break goes back to Larry. Well, his break the last time left no shot when that ball dropped into the middle pocket and he left himself hooked in the 1. And again, he's broke off, and I don't think he's even got a ball this time. SemiPro with a thin cut in the 1 and should be on the 2. And the 3 ball goes past the 9. The 4 ball, no problem with it either. And if SemiPro, well, he's not made the 1. I couldn't stress it even more than this, that Larry just simply has to take this chance, albeit not an easy one, because when he pots this 1 and he gets on the 2, he's simply got to find the path to avoid colliding with that 5 ball and get up to the top left hand side for the shot in the 3 and try and get as close to the top rail as he can. Avoided the 5. Oh, has this 7 done him a favour? I think it has. He's finished entirely the wrong side for the 3 ball. And, of course, I don't know. I think he can just squeeze through. He's going to leave the cup back in the 4. Well, it's worked out one way or another. It doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. And then if you can get the job done, well, good luck to you. Now, does that 6 ball go past the 8? Yes, it does. And Larry, again, has to get close to this side rail. He doesn't want to be playing this 6 at a great angle. Not really. He got to try and make this as easy as he can. The worst he can leave is a combo on the 7 and 8. That might be what he'll end up playing, unless he wants to just run through and brush onto the 8 to leave the 7 into the right middle. This depends on what he looks as if he's trying to come back to leave the combo. No. Does it go past the 9? Oh yes, it does. Well, that's better than I thought. Well, it's still an awkward one though. And in goes the 7. And Larry is going to get another one back. But still in the process of looking for respectability. Good evening, Slim. Welcome aboard. So SemiPro with the break in rack number, what rack are we in? 18. and with a healthy lead of 11 racks to 6. But SemiPro has come up dry, and once again the table is there. The balls have all got pockets, and Larry has to deliver, and the 2 doesn't go past the 5 that end, so the cue ball has to come up the table. Immediate problem for Larry is getting on the 2. And that needs to keep going. He's a bit short, and he's going to brush into the 5, and that may well brush into the 3 and push it to the side rail here. He's got to play this with enough pace to keep that 3 ball in play, and that's worked out perfect. The 5 nudging into the 3, banking the 3 out into the middle of the table. And once again though, there's work ahead for Larry to get onto this 4 ball at the top end of the table. We know the 4 goes past the 9. Well, at least I think we do. Did I look at it? Yes, it does. Well, what's he done here? Well, that's... He's okay. That could have went badly wrong there, but he's landed perfect. Little nudge in the 4. Oh, he's dead straight on this 5. There's nothing he can do here other than leave the long cut in the 6. And he's going to run into this 9 ball, I think. I don't think he dare risk trying to do anything here. He can't really draw back very far, and he can't go forward. And that's the best he could do. He's going to run into the 9. Now, does he play this gentle enough to try and leave this 7 into the left middle? If he brushes off the right half of the 9 ball, that's the shot he'll have left if he plays it with the right pace. If he plays it too hard, the cue ball will run away. And that's the right pace. He's got the nudge, and he's got the 7 into the left middle, and that's worked out as planned. And simply cannot afford to make a hash of what's left. And so this looks like another rack against the head here, I think. I think SemiPro had a break there. And Larry has pinched another one. And the break goes to Larry. And he's back to within 4. Breaks off. 4 ball goes in. A high cut in the 1. Or does he play a safety? If he plays the cut in the 1, he's got the path between the 3 and the 8 to get onto that 2 up at the top end of the table. And this is where you have to then weigh up the pros and cons of going all out to win the rack from this position. He knows he should have a shot in the 2 any second. It's all about the 1. And he's going to have a nice angle on this 2. And look, the 6 ball isn't going in anywhere. The 6-9 is on, provided you get good on it. If it comes to it, you have to be here to be playing this 6-9. You don't want to be here to be playing a 6-9 combo. You want to make your life easier like that. Well, he's brushed into the 6, Now, has that made any difference? It certainly has. The 6 now goes, but he's still got to deal with the 3. Now, if Larry takes this rack out, that then does start to put pressure on SemiPro on his break in the next rack. So just to 8 and 9, and Larry will be within 3 racks of SemiPro, and SemiPro will have the break in the next rack. And this is rack number 20. And Semi gets the 4 ball in the break. He's got a tough shot in the 1. And look at the balls. It's all on this 1 ball. All of these balls are going to go. And he's undercut the 1, and he's feeling the pressure, and he's left the 1 on for Larry, and the table is at his mercy. And I think with that shot there was just signs that SemiPro can feel Larry's hot breath just beginning to hit the back of his neck. Having said that though, Larry's left this 1 awkward. Trying to come across the top side of the 6 ball here to leave this 3 ball into the bottom left hand corner. But it's a tough 2 to start with. And he's hit the 6. He's hit the 6, and it has all gone pear-shaped. Does that 6 bank into the middle? Has he looked at the bank? He's having a look at it. It might go in off the jaw, and I think he might be having a go at it in a minute. Or he doesn't like it, does he? Is he going to go for the bank? Commentator's eye. Yes, it's in. But he's got no joy in the 3. Well, that was a bit of a break there that the bank was on, the kick bank on the 3-6 combo. But he's going to have to pull something off here. Does he try and run for cover? What's he trying to create here from this shot? He can try and brush behind the 8 ball here, but that'd be a brave shot. That is a touch shot and a half, but he could actually try and just brush off it and sneak down towards the 8 if he's brave enough. But I don't think he's looking for the cross bank. He's going to have 1 shot at it. No, he's not even trying that. Looking for the safety. And he's got it. Well, this time Larry has reeled his neck in. Mind you, he didn't have much of a shot in the first place, but he has got it safe. And now SemiPro, well, there's a bit of good fortune as well. He's played the kick safe, and he's banked to 7, and he's lying on the 3 ball. Well, what a turnaround in this rack. And SemiPro, if he can take this out, is going to breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. He missed that cutting the one ball at the start of this rack. Larry looked as if he was going to pinch it, and then it all went out of shape when he locked himself out. SemiPro having to roll to the rail here. But as I said earlier on, all that SemiPro needs to do is just keep pinching the odd rack, whether it be on his break or Larry's, it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, it's impossible to run racks really at this level in alternate break. It's very unlikely you're going to run 2 or 3 racks without a bit of luck and a bit of a mistake or two from your opponent. And so SemiPro opens up the gap. It's gone to 4 racks again. It could have been back to 2 there. And Larry has left a shot in the one. I'd love to know what the hell you guys are talking about. And SemiPro doing a sensible thing there, playing a decent safety. Easy kick for Larry, but again, it's the old kick and hope. You don't know where things are going. You just have to rely on a bit of luck, and well, Larry gets all the luck and it's all bad. He scratched off the 2. And ball in hand for SemiPro, and all the balls on a plate. Little stun across to the right here for this 5 into the left middle. That would be the plan. Well, again, he seems content to be playing these long. Looked a lot simpler to just run across to the right and play the 5 into the left middle. But it doesn't really matter what pattern you play as long as you do the main objective, and that's sink that 9 ball. Now these are the ones that can be a bit tweaky because you're going to have to stun it in and draw the cue ball. Well, he's went the run through the safer option because it's very easy to rattle these balls in the corners. But SemiPro kills the cue ball and pretty much kills this match, and this is going to take him to within 2 of victory. What round is this? Is this going to be a... This must be a round 2 match. I don't know. I can't see it in the bracket. And SemiPro remains at the table with the break. And the 1 ball has gone. He's got a very thin cut down the rail on this 2 if he wants to be brave enough to go for it. And he's gone for it, but he sent it to the rail too soon. And that's finished pretty straight on the 2. And Larry's just made things worse. Now, if he leaves the angle on the 5, which he's going to do, he has to take a big risk. He can try and pot this 3, cut the 5 onto the 7, and hope that the 5 stays in play, that he has a shot on it, but he can also try and break out the 6 here. And this is what he's going to do. He's going to play the combo. He's going to let the cue ball run, try and get the break out in the 6, and just rely on a bit of luck that he's still going to have a shot in the 5. And this is where you have to just chance your arm. So once he's dealt with a 4, that should be the shot he's thinking about. Yep, he's got the angle. Now, is he going to get the shot that I'm talking about here? He can't try and play a breakout off the 5 because he doesn't really know that he's going to have that sort of shot, and he's got a double kiss, but he's got the break, and that didn't go really according to plan, but he's got the breakout. Right, who's this hood, him arsehole that's in the chat? Right, just give me 2 seconds, chaps. Right, that should be the arsehole out the way. Sorry about that. That should be the arsehole out the way. Right, hang on a minute to shut. We're just back in time to see Larry sink the 9. So, Larry is on 9, SemiPro on 13, but that's another one Larry has won against the break. And he gets a couple of balls in the break, and he's got a shot in the 1, and he should be out. Well, arseholes are easy to deal with, you know, easy to kick them. That shuts them up. He's probably been kicked from 2 or 3 different Twitch channels tonight. That's probably his main occupation in life. Well, Larry's gone straight here in this 2. He's going to have to do a lot of work with the cue ball here to have any chance of getting anywhere onto this 3. And this already might have all gone wrong for him. Oh, he's played it into the middle. Well, that was a recovery. Can he get there? I mean, this channel is for an adult audience, in case I let out the odd expletive now and again, but it's not for arseholes. end of. If you start being an asshole on my chat, then you're out the door. I nearly swore there, by the way. Well, Larry has managed to recover the situation and he's home and dry. And now Larry has got to double figures, but the break has gone back to semi-pro, and that's his biggest nemesis. Well, it's been a nemesis throughout the match, but it's the biggest nemesis for Larry now at this stage in the match. At the business end, semi-pro gets the 9 ball in the break, it'll get respotted, and he can play the 1 and off the 4 into the middle pocket, and he'll be on the 2, and the problem is getting from the 2 up to the 3, which is very adjacent to the 8 ball. Well, he's got plenty of room to drag this 2 in and just stun up between the 7 and 6 up towards the 5 ball, and he should be on the 3. It looks as if he's running off the side rail. Well, he is digging. He's playing the drag shot between the 2. Has he gone far enough with the bounce? Yes, he has. And now off the side rail and out between the 4 and the 6 for the 4 into the top right. Looks the plan. Oh, he's overcooked that. What's happened here? What's happened here? Well, Larry's prayers have been answered in this rack already. Semi-Pro has overhit that by the proverbial country mile, and he's found the only spot that you don't want to be in, and now he's going to have to kick and hope. And that 4 ball is going to go safe, and Semi-Pro's prayers have been answered. Now Larry can cut the 4 towards the 5 and bring the cue ball over behind the 6. Well, he hasn't got the cover. And Semi-Pro can't see enough of the 4 to play a cut. But he's played a nice little double kiss. And now Larry, well, if he's going to play a kick up and down, there's no combo on. The chance in that going in are fairly slim because the 5's heading away from the pocket. I mean, it would go in off the jaw if you got it perfect, but it's nowhere near set. Now, he's trying to maybe just roll up dead weight, or is he going to go all out for a kick? Yeah, well, he'll be happy with that result. Semi-Pro, once again, he could play the reverse bank, but he's got a much easier safety, and that's what he's gone for. And that's now got Larry in a heap of trouble. Yeah, he's got an awful lot of baggage to deal with here, because if he even tries to spin around that 9, he's going to have to jack the cue stick up. He's looking for the kick off 2 rails, top rail or bottom rail, side rail. No, top rail as we look. Top rail, side rail onto the 4. But around the 9 from that side is a big massey onto the rail, and then letting the spin do the rest. Well, that looks like he's the option he's going for. He needs to get right into the cue ball, and of course that was a problem. He needed to jack that up a lot more to let the spin take and massey it around the 9, and he never got there. And it's given SemiPro. This is the perfect rack that SemiPro can take out, because, you know, he's just waiting on Larry making a mistake there, and the balls are all just sitting there for him to take out and just get another rack on the board. Somehow or other, falling over the finishing line is all that counts, no matter what Larry does now. But Larry had to jack the cue up. You could see that the angle needed a lot more around that 9 ball, even just to get to the point in the rail where the spin would kick into the 4, and Larry didn't get into that enough. He didn't have it jacked up high enough to get the masse to work. And well, it's all by the by now. SemiPro's gone straight on this 8 ball, so just a roll through and play the 9 into the right middle. No heroics, just a simple roll through. And he's going to be within 1 of, I assume, round 3. I assume this is a round 2 match. And SemiPro now on the hill, leading by 14 racks to 10. Well, the only thing Larry's got out of this so far tonight is respectability. He's got to double figures, which you have to admit, earlier on in the match, he was not going to get a sniff, trailing by 8 racks to 1. He's got a couple of balls in the break. The 2 ball has gone, the 9 ball went down, it's been respotted. And now he's going to try and stun this 1. Looks as if he's trying to maybe check it with the cue ball. He's dead straight though, that's the problem he has here. Yeah, there wasn't really an awful lot he could do. Now what does he do? Well, going all out for the cut. He's hung up the 3, but he's got the cover because he's got position in the 4, and he might get a second chance. SemiPro looking to kick. I don't know whether he's going to have to go side rail, top rail, and then onto the 3. I don't think he can get it direct, can he? Oh yes, he can. Almost cut it in. But now Larry has a chance. Same old, cannot afford to miss, has to take it out. And the problem is the next shot, because look at where he's finished with the cue ball. He's going to have to, surely he can see the 4, yes he can. He's going to have to get that cue ball over as far as he can to the left, hopefully for his sake avoiding the 6 ball and leaving a shot on that 5 into this bottom right. Well, he's played the stun, and that will do. Now the other problem is avoiding the 8 ball. Let's look at what he's got. Well, he can avoid the 8 ball, no problem. Well, I said he could avoid it. He's trying to use the rail there, but he's still got the shot, just a roll in on the 6. Nothing fancy. He's going to have a nice little shot in the 7 to get on to the 8. Now, he needs to go right through on this 8 ball. He wants to drop right through, and that will do. So Larry gets another one, and it's now 14-11, but the break once again is back with SemiPro. Nothing Larry can do than wait and hope, and SemiPro breaks, and he's come up dry, and Larry's left with the combo, and that's dead set. But look at where the cue ball is. And I think he's going to try and thump this to get the edge of the one and get momentum into it. He has to thump it and hit it as thin as he can, because the 2 will definitely go in if Larry can get any movement on that 1 towards the 2. We've always got the double kiss, and I think it's done him a favour. I thought he was going to try and blast that there, but he's got second prize. It's not a difficult one to hit, but well, that will do. Now that 8 ball can be used as a stopper if Larry wants to try and get up with a 6 ball. It can also be a 2-in-1 shot here. He can try the combo, but he can also run for cover. I'm back. Well, I'd be more inclined to be fully focused and just getting the cue ball up in the top left hand corner. Well, he's played the combo. A brave shot. And I say brave because he's kept the cue ball in play and still left himself a shot in the 1. And now, well, the only way it's going to go wrong is if he ends up behind the 5 ball. Or even the 6. But that 5 ball is dangerous where it's sitting. But there's plenty of room to leave himself in the middle of the table. Somewhere between the 9 and the 5 would be ideal, because it would leave him an angle to break out the 3. Well, he's gone all out to get top end, and he might be too straight. Well, he's going to have to punch this in if he's going to try and do anything, because the 3 ball isn't going anywhere in this position. And he's too straight. He's going to have to punch it in with spin, unless he's going to try and play a combo. I don't even think he's got enough angle to do anything like that. That is, there's just a tiny angle, but it's very easy to rattle this in the jaws if you try and pinch too much. Well, it might be the billiard. It might be the billiard, and that's not very good for a billiard either, the angle he's got. He's looking at it to try and line it up. It's a stun shot in the 3. Has to avoid a double kiss, and he's not interested. Just looking to play safe. Now, surely he hasn't left the bank into the middle. Well, SemiPro didn't look at it. I don't think it was on this time, like that previous one Larry played earlier in the match, but I don't think SemiPro gave it a look, just to be certain. But he's got Larry in trouble, and Larry, I think, has decided, nope, the 3 ball is too inviting. He's got a margin of error here to get this 3 and possibly pot it. But where will he be in the 4, even if he does pot this 3? Needs a bit of luck. This could be the crucial shot in the match. Oh, he's played it perfect. And the 4 will go past the 5, I think. Well, it does. But once again, the cue ball is running away. Now, the path is between the 9 and the 7 to run that cue ball around. If he just plays it plain ball, but he's digging in to avoid that path. He's going to leave a high cut in the 5 if he does that, I think. No, he's trying to stun it. Oh, that it looks perfect. Well, he's run behind it, but there shouldn't be any problem. He'll be running across. He needs to watch the scratch in the middle pocket here. No, I think he's okay. I think the worst that's going to happen is he's going to run into the 9 and that'll hold him on the 6. He's having a look, but I think he's fine. I don't think he's got any problems with the scratch. He's just going to brush into the 9. Just a plain ball pot. But has to remember the pot. Again, he's digging down. Oh, where's the cue ball going? Oh dear, Larry. He let it run. I don't know why he just didn't roll it in. The angle that he had, he was rolling towards the 9. And he started digging down in the cue ball, jacking it down to avoid running into the 9. And lo and behold, when you start running the cue ball, there's always 6 pockets in the table for that cue ball to run into, and Larry's chance, I'm afraid, has gone. And that is a disaster. And it's a disaster of Larry's own making there, because I don't think that was a shot. And SemiPro picks it off and wins the match by 15 racks to 11, and Larry put the nail in his own coffin lid there. And SemiPro marches on to what I think is round 3. And once again, Larry, well, he's going to have to do it the hard way on that one loss side. Well, folks, we had the match earlier on tonight between Stub and Mooncake. And that match could have been a totally different score had Mooncake taken what chances he had. I'm sure he was about 4 or 5 racks short of what he could have had. And, well, in the end, Stub won comfortably under no great pressure. And in this match, which we joined when SemiPro was 4-0 up, Larry just, well, kept digging holes for himself a lot of the times. And as I say, the alternate break is no help when you're trailing by 8 racks to 1. But Larry at least got the score respectable. He played the wrong shot in the 9 on the was it the 6 ball there. He should have just rolled it in and rolled over to the 9. I don't see where the problem was with that shot, but he chose to dig down to avoid the 9. Cue ball running around the table, straight into the middle pocket. End of. Well, guys, thank you for your company. Sorry about the arsehole that invaded the chat. We got rid of him quick. I'm off tomorrow and I'm off Thursday, so I don't think there's any matches scheduled. I don't know. Anyway, if there's any matches that I happen to check up on, I'll hopefully have them as well. So as to when I'll be streaming after that, I haven't a clue. I'm up at 2 AM every morning during this COVID crisis, and however long that's going to last, it's not going to end tomorrow. So my time is very precious. Most of it's going to be spent in my bed during the daytime. But I hope to see you again soon, folks. So take care, look after yourself, stay safe, stay home, and play VP4. And I'll see you again soon. Good night, and thank you for joining us.